How to wire a Serge modular panel. The Serge modular, the panel rack system. "17 inches, 7 inches, ½ inch all the way around. You actually have 16 inches of module. Each module can be from 1 inches to 2 inches to 3 inches. Originally it was just a grid of holes. And you would choose which modules you were going to place behind that panel, and you would get the artwork along with your kit from Serge, and you'd put it on paper as paper. And it had a clear mylar kind of plastic protecting. See the paper, the clear mylar. You can see where the paper was cut and just, kind of spliced together under the, with some glue. They would glue it to the panel. So this system is called the panel rack system. Things are not done this way anymore. No one does this. The panel rack system, you would have your standoffs, and you would originally just attach your PC board to the standoff, and then they would use a piece of plastic as a rail, and you would use zip ties to connect to the rails. Other people, when people started to DIY Serges later, just renegade style, they were cutting aluminum L channel and drilling it. And I tried that, and it was a huge hassle. And so I suggested to Ken Stone that he design some PC boards that we could have manufactured that could be the rail and the power bus. So these have 4 circuit traces on them, and they have a whole bunch of they have holes, so that this is my power bus. When the panel rack system is wired correctly, the synth should open like a book, and you should be able to. Right now I'm not using hinge standoffs. I ran out, so I'm using the old style, just regular standoffs, and you would just lay it down flat like this, and this is how you wire your synth. You run the wire from the PC board down to wherever component it's going to get wired to, and you cut that to length. So the wire should be flat along the metal of the panel, flat, and cut to length and soldered. So there should be no short wires that are preventing this from opening up all the way. As it used to say in the old wiring manuals, no extra wire. People never do this the same, but I always do this the same. Okay? When I pick this up, I'm looking at it head on. I'm reading, it's not upside down, right? It's just, so boom, lay it down. Now, all the power connectors on each PC board are on this side. You pick it up, all the power connectors go along the top. I'm using 26 gauge stranded for my power connection from the PC board to the power rail. I'm just gonna take these three and I'm gonna braid them. And the color is irrelevant. People need to know how to use their meter to test for continuity and to figure it out, you know, with their meter. But anyway, I usually use red for positive and white for the negative, and then black or green for the ground. But right now I only have purple, so that's what I'm going to use. So I've got the power wired for these modules, so you can see, and that's how I start wiring. Then I flip this over and I start from the bottom. So down here, the lowest hole is H. So I'm going to look at my schematic and I'm going to see what H is. It turns out it's pulse out number 2 for this negative slew. So I'm going to go ahead and wire that lowest one to this top section, because this is the negative slew in halves, just like if it was a DUSG or any other dual module Serge module that has separated it in upper and lower halves. I'm going to run this low section of this PC board to here, and then that way when I get to the top section it will only have to go as far as here. And so that way, that's how you make sure all the wires are as short as possible. I'm purposefully keeping these butted up against each other, just like as if it was on a hinged standoff. I'll pick this up and just to confirm, yeah, these two. It's a negative slew pulse output. And I'm just going to wire it to a closer one. See, I run the wire down to the jack, use my fingers to hold it down so that you know exactly the length. And I actually run it exactly to the top of the banana jack and hold my finger there and then cut it. And then strip it. Twist it. You got to use stranded wire when you do this. If you use solid core, you will lose because it will break. You know, you can only bend a solid core wire so many times before it snaps. And that's why you have stranded wire. And that's why the wires in your test cables have many, many fine strands. Now, since this may look wangly right now, but when it's all done, it's going to be tied down and it's going to look real even and nice with some zip ties. These two are the same, so it's just a double pulse output. So I'm just going to use a solid core wire to do the bussing. And so you use solid core wire in instances when the wire is not going to be bent, it's not going to move. This is going to move, it's going to bend every time you open and close the book. But this right here isn't. So I usually just do all my bussing first. So I'm just gonna run that little wire right there, and then I'm gonna do it to this one too, just to get it done. It's usually the second thing I do after I wire the power cables to the power rail. I don't know. Pick it up and look at the next one. G, what's G? The next one. I think that's this one right here. So some people so I run the wire straight along with the other wire. So they're gonna get zip tied together. They're not gonna be twisted. You might cause crosstalk if you do that. Just run it straight along and then straight over to its destination. So here's the VC, boom. So I'm not going to finish wiring this panel today. I'm going to go work at Vinyl Dreams, but I'll post some photos of some other panels that I've finished wiring in the past. CV top. So that's how you do it, you know. That's really how you do it. Solder to the board first, run your cable, and then solder to the component, which I didn't do because I got distracted. But then if you remember to solder to the board first and then solder to your component every time, and you kind of be a robot about it, then you will never forget. You'll never be debugging and notice, oh, I didn't solder that. Becomes some habitual. So it doesn't look very pretty from that angle, but from above you can see that the wires are all grouped together, and they're all, you know, none of them are too long, none of them are too short.